What's going on, everybody? Hello, 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 hello. It has been a week. It has been a week since I been here. I am blessed to be here again. And when I tell y'all, I am just blown away from all the things that have been happening this week. Um, it's just been confirmation after confirmation after confirmation. And I'm so grateful and blessed and honored to experience these things. Um, So we're gonna dive right in. We're gonna dive right in. So I have been talking to a couple of individuals and pretty much just telling them like, hey, because I'm in a coaching program. I'm a part of mentorships and stuff like that. So I'm always trying to educate myself. And I never want to become a gatekeeper and try to keep these things. This is like the purpose of this podcast is the fact that the things that I learn, I would love to share. If it helped me, I want to share those things so that other people that are going through the things that I went through could overcome those obstacles, those circumstances, those situations that they are in. And I was working today and I was just, listening to music. I just listened to a church service and everything. And I'm just, just looking at my phone and I seen a scripture because I have the Bible app as a widget on my phone. And I'm like, this is the total confirmation I needed. And so I want to share that. And we're coming from Second Corinthians, the first chapter, verse 3 and 4. And um, it says, Blessed be God, even the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and the Father of all comfort, who comforted us in who comforted us in all our tribulations, that we may be able to comfort them which are in any trouble by the comfort wherein we ourselves are comforted of God. And there was another scripture that I wanted to hit on too, but we're going to say that for a little later. And so looking at it, I'm like, okay, he comforted Jesus. He comforted him while he was on the cross. He comforted so many other people during their tribulations and things. And we're looking at the life that they lived and how they overcame their obstacles, their tribulations, their problems in life. And so I was talking to one of my associates the other day, and I was like, Lord, just lead me to say what you need me to say to this young lady. And because I'm reading this book again called The Power of Awareness. And it looks like this. Looks like this. Okay. There's a couple of different books out, but it looks like that. And so, and I've never been a reader. Never been a reader. And I'm going back through the book to kind of, get some nuggets and some gems and all of that good stuff. And so while reading this book, I was moved by certain things, right? I was moved by how your mind controls pretty much everything you do. How you think about things is how you react to things. And a lot of us are reacting based off of emotions. And so the God of mercies and the God of all comfort, who comforted us in all our tribulations, everything we've been through, you have overcame. You have seen the light at the end of the tunnel, right? Like a lot of us went through stuff years ago and it's like, how am I going to get through this? But you're here. You're in this very moment with me that you never thought was going to be possible. You thought your life was at its end, but you are here. And some of us look at the things in the past and see, why did I go through that? Why me? Why not you? And I probably said it before, and I will continue to say it again. Because I am a spokesman. I speak and I stand on that. We go through things for other people. Like Jesus suffered for us, we suffer for others. So one of the things that when I was preparing for this, I'm like, we are as he was. He suffered for us, and that was years ago, thousands of years ago. And here we are. But what he did thousands of years ago still stands. So he made a change for us. He suffered for us, even the ones that were not even on this earth when he did it. He suffered for us. So the things that you are going through, the things that you're experiencing, you are doing it for somebody else. And when you wrap your head around that, I'm not going through this. And that was one of the biggest things that kind of really pushed me to just keep going when I was going through postpartum. I'm not going through this for me. Yes, kind of, but I'm really not going through this for me. It's for somebody else. I'm a strong-minded person. I am one of those that I was felt like I was very confident at the time, but then I lost my confidence. You know, like we go through life. We have these roller coaster moments in our lives. But he comforted us in our tribulations so that we could be there for the other people that are in trouble. Like you using your story to help somebody else. That is like the purpose of us being here. We overcome things. And then you see somebody else going through the same thing you went through. And it's like, you're going to get over it. You're going to get through it. That same talk that you wanted, that same talk that, you were longing for is that same talk you can get to somebody else. You're not going through it for you. Just get that out. Become selfless. You were doing this thing for somebody else. You were living for somebody else. You're going to be able to help millions of other people beyond you, even after your years. And that is what really pushed me. I'm like, there are so many women, even men, but I can relate to women. There's so many women that have went through postpartum and never made it out. They never made it out. But I was one that did. And a lot of people don't understand and experience, like go through those things, right? Even heartbreak. You probably went through the worst heartbreak of your life. There's somebody waiting for you to tell your story. Somebody waiting for you to come out and say, you're going to get over it. You're going to get through it. It's not the end. It's not like this moment is going to end your life. Are you looking at the things that you're going through as the death of you or the life of you? And when we are at the bottom, like there's no other possible way to get through this thing. Like there's no way out. Why do you think a lot of people commit suicide? Why do you think a lot of people just stop living? They lose their minds because they feel as though this is it. That's what the devil wants to believe. You would believe. He come to steal, kill, and destroy. So when those three things are happening, the devil, like, oh, this is the devil. This ain't got, no. But when you're living with God, have God in your life, it's like a whole different world. You have peace, you have joy in the worst positions sometimes of your life, you still find joy. And a year ago today, 2 years ago, this talk would never been had. This, whatever we're doing right now, would never have came into play if I didn't go through the things that I went through and say, and be shown visions of, Kayla, your story is going to change so many lives. It ain't even about somebody coming to me saying, oh, you need to tell your story. No, I was having visions of myself when I was going through postpartum. I'm having visions of myself on a stage talking to women. And so when this came about, I was hype. Okay. I'm like, yes, this is the start. Yes. I don't care how many people will follow me. Yes. This is a platform I need because somebody has to hear it. A person that is going through, that don't know where to turn, is going to stumble upon one of these videos one day and say, God is in it. I got a breakthrough. And I got that today. And she's not even watching videos. I got that today. And I said, God, you were in it. And when she kept talking, I got confirmation after confirmation. Everything you were telling me was right. And I told her, your life. And I feel like we're kind of switching gears right now. But it has to be heard. It has to be told. And I'm not going to hold that. I want somebody else to get the same breakthrough as her, as I did. When I found out this is how it works, this is how things happen. So when you are in like a bad relationship, at a terrible job, right? You're going through stuff. I mean, you're just going through whirlwinds. It feels like a storm on every side. There is sunny, blue skies with really no clouds outside. But in your world, it is gloomy. It is dark. It's cloudy. It feels like every storm that could be a hurricane, a tornado, everything is happening at one time. And you're like, how do I get out of it? What do I do? There's no way out. There's this is it. This is the end. But I'm here to tell you, I'm not, I said before and I'm gonna say it again, I am not a gatekeeper. I will not hold this stuff to myself. I can't. It's not me. It is not me. You create your own reality, your own world in here. You create it. Whatever, if you were going through situations and those people are feeding you this negativity, if you allow this stuff to be planted and to be just growing, that's all you're gonna know. That is all you're gonna think is what they're telling you. So if a person says you're ugly, if a person says you're not worthy, if a person says you would never be anything, if you allow this thing to be planted and you water it with every thought in your mind is about this thing, you're letting it take root. You're allowing this thing to grow. So that's all you're going to know. Why do you think that the Bible says resist the devil and he shall flee? Why do you think if you resist those things they're trying to feed you, they're trying to allow to grow in your life, if you resist those things, he can then work in you for you to avoid those and be the total opposite. Like, you are in full control over your outcome, over your life from your mind. And one thing I shared with her because of her situation, I told her, I said, the things that your husband is feeding you, you are walking in that. He's pulling you down. He's miserable. So he wants you to be miserable. So he's doing everything he can. Like, if you come in the house smiling, he's like, what you smiling for? And he's doing everything he can to pull you down. He don't care about you, but you care about him. So what I told her was, when he said something negative, think the total opposite. Because you're allowing these thoughts that he's telling you, his opinion or whatever is in his head, to then become your opinion and your reality. So when he said that he didn't love how you wore your hair, you then started to not wear your hair down. And a lot of women can relate to this. And I'm not going to share her story. But I wanted to give you a snippet. I wanted to show you, like, these little things that a person can say. Like a guy to me, Kayla, you're never going to be anything unless you give yourself to somebody else. You will not have anything. So when I'm going through these trials, when I'm going through these tribulations, I'm not looking for comfort from God. I'm just trying to prove this man, like, I don't know. I'm just trying to understand, like, why, I can't be successful. And it's because I'm allowing this man's thoughts of me become my reality. So I paralyze myself. Instead of allowing God to work in me and resisting the devil and allowing you think what you want to think, but I'm going to keep moving. Your opinion don't pay my bills. I can't cash a check from you telling me I'm worthless. That's not cutting me a check. So I'm not going to don't entertain nothing that is not benefiting you. Don't do it. It's a waste of your time. So when she said, Kayla, I never really paid attention to the things that he was doing until you said something. I said, I haven't even known you for 3 months. I can tell based off the way you walk. And a lot of women are like that. And it's not just her. It's not just me. But I'm so grateful and glad that she could see it. She was like, we all are so, like, we're not sober minded. So we're not collecting and seeing everything that is happening right before our eyes. Like, the breadcrumbs are being dropped, but we're so blind and we're so just, what their thoughts are just being fed to us, and we're not looking at how we feel or our thoughts or God thoughts of us. We're worried about somebody else's. The only person I need to be pleasing is him. I'm here to serve. But if I ain't pleasing him, it don't matter. We have to get into a habit, create a habit, a serious habit of taking the things that other people say. If it's not bit, Lord, do you approve? Is it something that I need to move on? Or do I just need to toss it to the side? Because it's not benefiting your will. It's not benefiting the purpose that I'm here. So don't allow this thing to just take root, take a seat, live in your head rent free. Move on. You got to move on from it. You have to understand. You got to know how to move on from it. Like, allow this thing to fuel you, not to paralyze you. And I feel like that's the problem. We look at our trials and tribulations and we're in debt. We are suffering. We're going through a divorce. We are we can't find a job. We're unemployed. The car just broke down. And instead of just surrendering and say, you know what, Lord, thank you for sitting me down. I was going somewhere I ain't had no business. I was buying stuff I ain't had no business. Instead of us just surrendering and saying, okay, Lord, thank you. We are in like, we're in rage. We're furious. How are you looking at your problems? How are you looking at the situation that you're in? How are you looking at the circumstances? How are you looking at it? Either you're going to view it positively or you're going to view it negatively. And I realized that viewing the negative is not going to get me anywhere. I am going to remain stuck and paralyzed until I release it and just surrender out. I've healed. This past year and a half has been a healing thing for me. And a lot of people were probably like, why did you leave? Or why did you do this? Or are you going to go back? And I said, once you are delivered and you're made, not set, when you are made free from something, why would you return? I went through that to be a testimony to somebody else. I went through that so it could prepare me for what I'm going through now. I've learned so much. And I never looked at my tribulations. I never looked at my trials. I never looked at the negative stuff in my life that happened, right? As a lesson. But here recently, I realized that lessons are blessings. Maybe that person that you wanted to get married to was not the person for you, and he didn't make it work for a reason. And now you're seeing this person on the news somewhere. Now you're seeing, what they're into. But he freed you from that. And then you're mad, like, oh, I'm supposed to be married. I'm still single. But he freed you from that. Everything happens for a reason. I believe that. I live that. Everything that I wanted to do in my life, I had a plan for my life. Like when I was in school, I knew what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it, when I was going to do it. My plan was to go into the military. My plan was to be an MP, a military policeman. My plan continues. I wanted to come back and be a policewoman. And then go from there to being a detective. So that's why I love to investigate stuff. That's just in me. It would never leave. But I wanted to be a detective. And early in, God told me, no. I mean, was showing me how to, no. this is not going to happen. First strike was when I told my mom. She was already off. No, you're not going. I'm not about to lose my daughter in the military. I'm like, Mom, everybody doesn't fight. So that was strike one. Strike two, I went to the recruiter. And he straight up told me, find something else to do in the military or I'm not going to sign off on your papers. Said, what? Like, you supposed to want me to do this thing. Like, you get paid for me coming in and wanting to be a part of this branch. I don't want you to be an MP. You need to find something else. Strike three, I got a ticket. So I couldn't really enroll until 3 years after the ticket I had a speeding ticket. So I was like, you know what, Lord? I give up. This is not for me. This is not for me. So I didn't go. Was I upset? I mean, at parts of my life, I'm like, man, how would life be if I would have went? Right? We look at stuff like that. How would life be if I would have followed the path that I wanted to take? Then I started seeing people just pop up on the internet. How a girl was raped and killed in her platoon. She was only 18, a girl like me. And I said, then I started seeing other things. And I said, you know what, Lord? Thank you for taking that serious desire that I had out of me to go there, because that was not the way I needed to go. And I wouldn't be doing this right now if I would have went that way. My husband the same way. He went in and got out. And for a while he blamed himself. He put himself down. But then I had to tell him, we would have never met if you would have went in. We wouldn't have the cars we have, the house we have, the kids we have. Like, stop thinking about the what if. Just thank God that I am grateful for what I have right now. Your thoughts are not his thoughts. Your ways are not his ways. Mine either. And so the plans that we try to place on our life, he's like, if it's not in alignment with what I want you to do, it ain't gonna happen. But we try to alter our plans. No, Lord, you know what? I don't want to go that way. Like I talked about Jonah. Not going to Nineveh. I don't like them folks. They ain't got nothing nice, nothing good. They're our enemies. Why are we going over there? But he shared in so many different scriptures. He talks about loving your enemies, doing things for your neighbors. Like, it's always for other people. We have to become selfless. We have to become like Jesus. Jesus was not thinking about himself when he was on that cross. He knew this story is going to live for an eternity. What I'm going through, my tribulations, all the stuff that I had to bear, all the whips, becoming unrecognizable, hanging on this cross, bleeding out to death, crying out to you because how much pain I'm in. But I'm doing it for a reason. I'm doing it for a purpose. And I want them to see it. And that's how you should live your life. You are suffering for a reason. You are nailed to a cross. Bleeding, it feels like there is no way out. But guess what? He rose on the third day. You are going to rise again. And that's what we have to marinate in our head when you are at the lowest, when the bills are due, when there's no food in the refrigerator, there's no gas in your gas tank. You have to surrender all. He wants to know if you are going to still surrender yourself to him. You are not doing this for you. You are doing this for somebody else. Those millions of people is waiting on you. You have to get over it. You have to get over this season. You have to get through this season because somebody is depending on you. Cross over. It's a better world out there. You are in a rough part of your life, but there's a better part to come. It never went from light to darkness. It always went from darkness to light. So know that there is a change that's going to happen, but you have to believe it. He said, a doubtful man receives nothing. So if you're sitting here and you're wallowing in your sorrow, I get it. We cry. I cry too. I get it. But you can't allow this thing to consume you. to where you don't move. All you do is think about this thing because you're going to become that thing. You have to break it. We're breaking generational not barriers. You have to break it. You ain't going to be stuck. I'm going to make sure of it. But you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. He can do a work, but if you don't believe, he can't do nothing. He can't do anything because you don't believe. You don't have a willing heart to change. You have to be willing. You have to put some work in. You're trying to become debt free, but every time he brings you out of debt, you go back in it because you don't want to change. Understand, you have to be willing to take, you have to sacrifice. You have to learn, you have to grow. You can't be stuck and think that things are going to happen for you. Things are going to change. You have to grow each and every year, every day. Grow in some area of your life. So those thoughts that are trying to rise, trying to grow, people are trying to plant, have no room for no type of sunlight, no type of water, because all your focus is on the will. Your focus is on the purpose and the plan for your life. If Jesus allowed the devil while he was in that mountaintop to convince him, he was telling, turn this stone into bread. He's been fasting for 40 days. Do you think this man is not hungry? Cast thyself down. He's tempting him, but he's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I am the Son of God. I'm a child of the Most High. I can do anything. I am king. I can make you king of all of this. I'm already king. I'm already a queen. Look at your life as Jesus did in reverse. Reverse this thing, right? He already seen himself on the right hand. He already seen himself being the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, right? So when he was going through all this stuff, he knew the prize. He knew the end result. All I got to do is endure. All I got to do is take myself out of it and put others. Because there's millions of people that's going to come after me that need me. Live your life like that. Live your life like that. Knowing your prize and then work your way back. So that you are not focusing on the situations. You're not focusing on the tribulations. You're not focusing on all of these things that are happening around you. Because your world, he got you. Your world is created here. He said, I will give you the desires of your heart. So I'm desiring to be up there with him. I'm desiring to help other people get out of this thing that they're in. I'm desiring to help people break the barriers that are holding them down and back from whatever they need to be doing in their life. That is my desire. That is my sole desire. And then he gonna work backwards. He gonna work through me. I already see that your eyes is on the prize. You're seeking me. So I'm gonna do everything I can to give you what you need while you're on this earth. And that's what you need to be doing. Sacrifice. Don't do this. I'm going through this. I'm in debt. I'm having to eat oodles and noodles, beans and weenies. But I'm going through this to tell somebody else that I made it out and they can too. Live your life like that. Hopefully this was a blessing to you. If you're living your life like that, type it in. I'm living my life for somebody else. We are as he was. Love y'all. See y'all on the next episode. and do the thing you need to do to become